Have you ever wondered why some people seem to see opportunity everywhere, while others standing in the same place see nothing at all? It's as if the world whispers secrets, but only a few have the ears to hear them. Imagine standing before a chessboard. Most of us see just pawns, knights, and rooks. But then there's someone else who sees the hidden patterns, the traps, the possibilities, the way today's move shapes tomorrow's victory. That is the difference between ordinary thinking and extraordinary thinking. And no one understood this better than Charlie Munger. Not just an investor, not just the lifelong partner of Warren Buffett, but a man who turned the very act of thinking into an art form. Today, we're stepping into his world. The world of mental models, powerful frameworks that allow us to cut through confusion, see reality more clearly, and make decisions that truly change the course of our lives. This is not just about money. It's not just about business. It's about how you live, how you choose, how you see the world itself. So, let me ask you again, if your mind is the greatest tool you'll ever own, shouldn't you learn how to sharpen it? Charlie Munger was not born into wealth. He was not handed success. In fact, he came from a modest background in Omaha, Nebraska, the same small town where a young Warren Buffett grew up. But what set Munger apart was not money, not privilege, not luck. It was the way he thought. From an early age, he was captivated by the power of ideas. He studied mathematics, law, architecture, psychology, never content with one perspective. He wanted them all, because he knew a narrow mind is a dangerous mind. After serving in World War II, he built his career brick by brick, first as a lawyer, then as an investor, and ultimately as the trusted partner of Warren Buffett at Berkshire Hathaway. But here's the thing, even standing in Buffett's shadow, Munger was never the other guy. He was the hidden force, the razor-sharp voice that could slice through illusions and expose the truth. While Buffett brought optimism, Munger brought clarity. Together, they created one of the greatest investment empires in history. Yet Charlie Munger's legacy is not just measured in billions of dollars. It's measured in the billions of decisions made better because he taught us how to think. He gave us a treasure chest of wisdom, his mental models, tools that anyone, anywhere, can use to navigate life's complexity. And today, we're going to unlock some of those very tools. The same ones that guided him through uncertainty, through markets, through life itself. We live in an age of information overload. 1,000 voices shouting at us every second. The news, social media, advertisements, opinions, all of them demanding our attention. But here's the tragedy. Never before have we had so much knowledge available, and yet, never before have we been so confused. We scroll endlessly. We react emotionally. We make snap judgments without pausing to think deeply. We confuse noise with wisdom. We mistake speed for clarity. And in the process, we make poor decisions about our money, about our careers, about our relationships, about our very lives. Look around. How many people do you know who are busy, yet going nowhere? How many chase success, yet never stop to define what it truly means? The problem is not that we lack intelligence. The problem is that we lack frameworks. We don't know how to organize the chaos of the world into something meaningful. We don't know how to step back, see the bigger picture, and think clearly when it matters most. And that's where Charlie Munger enters the story, because he believed that the greatest edge you can have in life is not money, not connections, not luck, but a latticework of mental models. A system of ideas drawn from the best of human knowledge, woven together into a toolkit for making better choices. In a noisy world, this is how you find clarity. In a chaotic world, this is how you find direction. In a confusing world, this is how you learn to truly think. Lesson 1. The map is not the territory. One of Charlie Munger's most powerful lessons is simple to say, but life-changing to understand. The map is not the territory. Think about it. A map can guide you, but it is not the land itself. It's a simplified picture, a model, a tool to help you navigate. Too often, we confuse our models of reality with reality itself. We cling to a single perspective, a single framework, a single way of seeing the world, and then we wonder why we make mistakes. Munger warned against this trap. He believed that no one discipline has all the answers. Economics alone cannot explain life. Psychology alone cannot explain people. Law alone cannot explain justice. But when you bring them together, when you learn to think across disciplines, to see the world from multiple angles, you create a latticework of wisdom, a structure that supports your decisions, even when life becomes complex. Imagine standing at a crossroads. If you only have one map, your vision is narrow. But if you have many maps, from science, from history, from philosophy, from human behavior, suddenly, the path becomes clearer. This was Munger's genius. He didn't rely on just one way of thinking. He collected mental models like treasures and used them to cut through illusions and see reality more clearly than almost anyone else. So here's the challenge for us. Stop clinging to one perspective. Start building your own latticework. Learn broadly, think deeply, and never forget, the map is not the territory. Lesson 2. The power of inversion. Most of us approach life by asking, how do I succeed? How do I win? How do I get what I want? But Charlie Munger flipped the question. He said, invert, always invert. Instead of asking how to succeed, ask, what would cause me to fail? What would ruin this decision? What mistakes must I avoid at all costs? It sounds simple, but it is revolutionary. Because life is not only about chasing the right steps, it's about avoiding the wrong ones. Sometimes it's far easier to prevent stupidity than to guarantee brilliance. Imagine you want a happy marriage. You could spend your life chasing the perfect formula. Or you could ask, what destroys marriages? Neglect, dishonesty, resentment. Avoid those, and you've already won half the battle. Or take investing. You could chase the next big stock. Or instead, you ask, what mistakes wipe people out? Overconfidence, debt, ignoring risk. Avoid those, and your chances of long-term success rise dramatically. Munger called this the discipline of inversion, a way of thinking backwards to shine a light on the hidden pitfalls ahead. And here's the beauty. You don't need brilliance to use it. You only need the humility to admit what could go wrong and the wisdom to steer clear of it. Sometimes the surest path to victory is simply refusing to lose. Lesson 3. The psychology of human misjudgment. Charlie Munger often said, the greatest danger in life is not ignorance. It's the illusion of knowledge. And nowhere is this clearer than in the way our own minds deceive us. We like to believe we are rational, that we make decisions logically, that we see the world clearly. But in truth, we are full of biases, shortcuts, and blind spots. We chase what feels good in the moment. We follow the crowd, even when the crowd is wrong. We fall in love with our own ideas and defend them long after the evidence has proven us mistaken. Munger understood this weakness better than almost anyone. That's why he studied psychology so deeply, not to fix others, but to guard himself. He created a list of the ways we trick ourselves. Social proof, incentive BS, confirmation BS, overconfidence. The list goes on, and his warning was clear. If you don't understand these forces, you will become their victim. Think about it. How many times have we bought something we didn't need just because everyone else had it? How many times have we ignored warning signs because we didn't want to admit we were wrong? How many times have we taken the easy path instead of the right one? Munger's advice was simple. Study your own psychology. Name your biases. Recognize them in action. Because once you see the trap, it loses its power. In the end, clear thinking isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware. It's about protecting yourself from your own blind spots. That, Munger believed, was one of the greatest edges a person could ever have. Charlie Munger's life was proof of one timeless truth. Clear thinking is a superpower. He didn't rely on luck. He didn't chase shortcuts. He built a mind, a disciplined, flexible, ever-learning mind. And with it, he built a legacy that will outlive us all. But here's the real secret. You don't need to be Charlie Munger to think like Charlie Munger. You don't need billions in the bank or Azit beside Warren Buffett. What you need is curiosity, humility, the willingness to keep learning, to keep questioning, to keep building your own latticework of wisdom. The world today is noisy, chaotic, confusing, but you don't have to be lost in it. You can choose clarity over noise, discipline over distraction, wisdom over impulse. And it begins with a single decision to think better. So ask yourself, what mental models will you start building today? What biases will you guard against? What lessons will you carry forward into every choice, every action, every day of your life? Because in the end, the greatest investment you will ever make is not in stocks, not in businesses, not in property, but in the quality of your own thinking. And that is a lesson worth remembering.